Welcome to the Startups Without Borders podcast. I'm Valentina Primo, and I'm the founder of this platform, this community, and this movement for entrepreneurs who are starting new ventures while starting new lives. Each week, we'll be sharing inspiring interviews with the most audacious startup founders while highlighting resources for anyone starting up. Gear up to get some real-life advice. You're listening to the Startups Without Borders podcast, episode 11. Our incredible partners at Facebook joined the Startups Without Borders Summit last month to support the migrant and refugee entrepreneurs building communities in the Middle East. Now gear up to meet an incredible boss lady and Syrian entrepreneur, Reem Sabouni, whose startup Arab Moms Club has built a massive community for mothers in Egypt, starting off with a Facebook page. In this episode, we dive into Reem's journey growing a community of 13,000 mothers while discussing how to create value for your users, how to leverage on the community to build a revenue stream, and how to take on the massive challenge of changing mindsets. Hi, Reem. How are you? I'm very, very excited to have you on the Startups Without Borders podcast. Thank you so much for joining.
Hi, Valentina. I'm so excited to, and thank you very much for this interview.
Thank you. Thanks to you. It's excited because I've seen your journey. I've seen your growth in recent years. And I always wondered, how did she manage to do it all? Being a mother in a new country, building such a huge community, building Arab Moms Club. Can you tell us a little bit about the beginning and about your journey to Egypt, basically? When exactly did you leave Syria to come to Cairo?
Okay. Actually, I was born and raised in Damascus, Syria.
Yeah.
And I moved to Egypt in 2012 with the beginning of the Syrian crisis, leaving behind me home, country, family, and my job, everything.
Yeah.
With only one goal: to provide a safe, stable life for my only son. This is actually my beginning. So I felt frustrated, actually, without work, away from home, country. And I had nothing in my head what to do. Yeah. As a single mom and as a Syrian refugee, living for the first time in a new place that I don't have any idea about it. Actually, something funny to mention, that I was possible to get lost in the streets of Cairo because it's a new country on me, and the streets was so wide and so different from the streets of Damascus. So I've decided to study again, actually, a new academic specialization.
Yeah.
Which wasn't related to my previous one. So I've chosen to study Montessori education for early childhood age. With the desire of understanding my child who started showing strange behaviors that I didn't understand because of the changing of the environment around him. So that was my starting point, actually. It was a new place, a new environment. Everything was challenging around us. And I found that my 2-year-old son wasn't stable. So that's why I've chosen this my starting points, and then the rest of the story comes after.
Right. This is incredible because, we hear a lot about the lost generation. We hear a lot about the children that are very affected by war. Psychologically, they show scars that are, very, very important, very dramatic. And you turn this.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you turn this into yet an opportunity to learn how to tackle the issue yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. Actually, I've tried several phases of motherhood. I've tried to be a new mom, a single mom, a refugee mom. And like most of the mothers, I wanted my son to grow and learn in a healthy environment, a stable mental and psychological state, despite the traumatic changes that we're undergoing. I also wanted to help other mothers who are experiencing similar circumstances.
Yeah.
So that was my starting point and my passion. I could manage to turn my passion into an entrepreneur startup.
Wow. That's incredible. And what were the first steps that you took? I mean, what was the idea behind Arab Moms Club?
Yeah, actually, Arab Moms Club as a concept started with me before. I think it's a reflection of my story.
Yeah.
As I mentioned before, that like most mothers, I wanted my son to grow and learn in a healthy environment, stable mental and psychological state, despite all these traumatic change that we're undergoing. And I also wanted to help other mothers.
Mm-hmm.
But I noticed that there was a gap, actually. We have many trainings in different work-related aspects, but we don't have that for motherhood.
Yeah.
And it is the hardest job, actually, as a mother, being mother. You are basically working 24 hours for 7 days with your kids. So I decided to invest my passion and my experience and beside my studies in dealing with children and help create a conscious environment for mothers and mothers to be.
Right.
And actually, as a refugee woman, there's so many challenges being a mother beside being a refugee. Some mothers are supporting their families, and it's harder, actually. They don't have enough time to spend with their kids and listening to them. They are also mentally and psychologically pressured. But so are the children as well. They have discipline problems and kids sometimes having collateral damage.
Yeah.
Actually, mothers don't know how to deal with their kids, and this is where Moms Club comes in. This is the idea.
Right. So you decided, I'm going to build a community. I'm going to build a group of mothers that want to invest time and effort and teaching themselves and educating themselves on how to mother, how to parent, basically, right?
Yeah, exactly. And support them socially.
Yeah. Now, we were just together in a panel at the Startups Without Borders Summit discussing this idea of building communities, right? Bringing people together online and offline to build communities of support. Because in this day and age, finding support online is crucial, right?
Yeah.
How do you actually build a community? There's so many people online creating pages on Facebook, for example, and trying to build communities. And it is difficult. It is hard. It is difficult to keep the community active, to have a real community where people support each other and where you're not just giving them, one-way messages.
Yes, actually, with the beginning of our project, Arab Moms Club, we began in an online stage.
Yeah.
So we went to our targeted segment, the mothers from different backgrounds, and we have found a strong welcome for the idea. Then we worked on nominating a number of leading women in the community to work on the promotion and dissemination.
Yeah.
Of the idea, and work in the Moms Club as a volunteer and as contributors. In return, they enjoyed our services free of charge, actually, such as our courses, our workshops, our exclusive events.
Yeah.
And this helped us to expand our fan base automatically and quickly.
Right.
So this is the stages that we go through building our Arab Moms Club community.
Right. And you've built a huge community. I mean, it's at 13,000 today and growing, right?
Yes, exactly. Online and offline, both of them.
Yeah. And how do you balance basically the activities that you do offline and the activities that you do online? What comes first? This is something that I myself, for example, building Startups Without Borders came to the question so many times, right? Do you do the events and then drive people to the online community, or do you do the other way around? What really comes first, and how do you balance both?
Yeah, actually, as I mentioned before, that we started online. Then we were able to start our offline activities. But at the first place, we have built a team of mothers working with us from different places in the world, such as Syria, Turkey, UAE, and Saudi Arabia. So we managed to keep our activity effective and wasn't affected.
Right.
But the desire has become more urgent to spread online, so we are focusing our efforts at the current stage to work online.
Right, right. What would you say was the main challenge in all of this? Because I can imagine, being a solo founder, a solo entrepreneur, handling such a massive community. What would you say is the main obstacle you faced?
Yeah, actually, there's so many challenges, but if I could say that the main challenges for me was two factors.
Yeah.
First of all, being a startup entrepreneur actually was itself a challenge itself, because I didn't enter the business previously, actually. And my academic specialist began a huge challenge for me. The next challenge that I faced, that obtain funding for the project sustainability, because it's a self-funded project. So those two main challenges, I'm trying at the current stage also to face them, to have a sustainable funding by paid services, for example.
Yeah.
And we are trying to get rid of all the challenges by trying to ask the help from other mothers that are basically have a business before.
Right, right. So as you said before, right, a community where people support each other, where all members support each other.
Exactly. Yes.
I guess when you run a community, one of the most important things is to add value to the users and to really listen to their feedback, to really listen to what they need in order to serve them. Right? How do you do that? How do you incorporate their feedback? How do you gather their feedback and incorporate it then into your business?
Actually, at the end of each service provided to the mothers, we make an evaluation of the service in order to improve it. And we ask our customers to write their opinion about it and to spread the idea of the club and tell other mothers about our services. And also by building a large community through the use of social media and using the groups on Facebook and WhatsApp. As I pointed out, we do questionnaires and ask questions and welcome suggestions continuously. And that creates a state of credibility and permanent interaction between us and the customers.
Right, right. Now we're speaking about customers, we're speaking about users of the platform. Now the trick here is you have a community, you have people interacting, you have people coming to the events and, all these activities and all this content. But how do you turn the users of the platform into paying customers?
Yes, actually, initially our services were completely free, to be honest. But due to the time and the spread, they became paid. And this is essential, to continue. But our paid services remained in the medium and very acceptable level. And after a while, our services were popular among mothers because their experience with us, and they feel that they achieved the benefit. And of course, we rely on the word of mouth that spread among the mothers.
Right. Now, it is very difficult to build a community where you're trying to change mindsets as well, right? Because as you said before, you're bringing in a new concept, which is Montessori education. You're bringing awareness about motherhood being a work in progress, right? And here you deal with a lot of misconceptions or a lot of sort of say rejection, right? From mothers who believe, there's nothing to improve and it shouldn't be something to work on, right? Especially in the culture in the Middle East. So how do you work with that? How do you grow a community while changing mindsets?
Well, exactly, yes. We do working on changing the mother's mindset about parenting. Usually the mothers, when she comes and asks for consultation, she feels that she is facing a problem. But she never believed before that the problem is in her parenting style, for example.
Yeah.
She believed that the problem in her child, maybe he needs some sessions in order to be obedient or to have a discipline. But actually, we have working on the mother at the first place, and we try to change the old style that she has used and that she is come with. And when she found that there is some changes happened, actually, she could connect with her child effectively more than before, and she felt that there is some effective results in her parenting styles. So then she comes and asks us, oh, okay, I guess that, yes, I was having some problems. I need to know more about, for example, Montessori. Yes, I need to know more about the positive discipline, how to manage this problem and how to do with so and so.
Yeah.
So in this way, you could really change the mindset of some of the mothers, actually. And we يعني, could do this in so many cases.
Right. Now, if you met a young refugee who wants to become an entrepreneur, who is in a new country, especially in Egypt, which is a difficult, big country, a massive population of 100 million, what would you advise her?
First of all, I maybe would advise her to check her passion first, to know what she really wants to do, what she really feel that she needs. Because, if you're working on your needs at the first place and fulfill your passion and your needs, or maybe your community, maybe your family needs, and then you could investigate around you what is the effective way that I have tried and it was successful. If she could do this, then I think that she could share her experience online at the first place, and try never ever put in her head that she might face some challenges. Of course, there is so many challenges in life, but why not to try? Why not to have some sharing ideas for the successful things that she had already tried and find it effective?
Right. Yeah, as you say. Yeah. As you say, we go through so many challenges, so many obstacles, and the journey is not just building a company, but building yourself as an entrepreneur, right?
Yes, at the first place. You have to fulfill your needs at the first place, and to fulfill your passion, and then you could have your own dream. Why not?
Yeah. And what would you say is the most important decision you took, or the decision that led you, to where you are today?
Yeah, actually, if I could say that the most difficult decision that I have taken, and maybe it is a personal decision, to depend on myself, not to depend on others, or not to just to stay at home and not doing anything because I'm a refugee and I left my home, I left my everything, I left my job. I'm a single mom too, and I have a small kid, so what to do? Maybe this is the very, very actually challenging decision that I have taken, but I'm so happy that I have take this decision at early age, and in a very early time that we were facing so many crises and have so many problems in our country, in our life. Actually, this is the first decision that I take, and I keep going on.
Right. That's very, very inspiring. Now, one last question. You've grown a lot. You've grown your company. You are frequently interviewed across TV stations in Egypt, radio stations, everywhere on the internet. Mm-hmm. What is the biggest dream or the biggest vision that you have for Arab Moms Club?
In fact, I hope to see so many branches in each Arab countries for Arab Moms Club, because Arab Moms Club is not just a project, or it's not just my own dream. I hope to see that this dream successful, and every mom, every Arab moms actually have the right to own this dream and have the right to enter the Arab Moms Club in her country. Maybe because I feel that every mom deserves to be supported and deserve to be happy with her motherhood. So this is my big dream, actually.
You like what you hear? Then leave us a review on Apple Podcast. You can also get exclusive access to all the updates, the upcoming events, and the most inspiring stories by subscribing on startupswb.com/subscribe. I'll repeat it, startupswb.com/subscribe. I'd like to thank our amazing podcast partners in Egypt, Rcast, for producing this entire season.